Welcome to the BeFit podcast. I am Jo, a mum, a fitness coach and the founder of BeFit. This podcast is all about helping women move, eat and live in a way that builds strength, energy and confidence at every stage of life. Join me each month for real conversations, simple tips and inspiration to help you feel strong, calm and completely yourself again. Hello and welcome to podcast 3, and today we are talking about the January hype, and I've waited to do this podcast just a week because there is so much noise in January about what you should be doing, how you should be moving, the next 6-week course to sign up for. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of space. I thought I'd give myself a little bit of space because I got back to work last week and it felt full on after having a couple of weeks off. So I always close at Christmas so that I can take time to recharge, reset and come back and work with my community in a much better way in January, because we know it's super cold and I think everything becomes a little bit harder. So that recharge for me and my clients is super important over Christmas. So anyway, here I am today and I want to talk about January, starting over, and why we need to get out of this mindset of our January kickstarts, extremes. This is the time to make the biggest change, when actually there's another way to look at this. So why does the January hype feel so overwhelming? We get so much messaging about new year, new you, you got 30-day shred, burn it plans, and if you're not confident with exercise and you've already got lots of barriers to exercise, this can seem really, really daunting and overwhelming, and it isn't necessary to look at it this way. You can create a much healthier mindset around health and wellness and stop thinking about it as an intense a time to start something really intense. It's January. In the UK, it's cold. We're quite often lacking in energy. We don't get much sunlight this time of year. And actually starting a fitness routine that is sustainable, that fits around your life, that you can stay consistent with long term is going to be far, far more important. So the fitness industry can be really, really confusing. You get messages, train harder, you need rest, eat less, fuel more. Cardio's the most important thing to do. You need to be doing strength, not cardio. And I think our willingness to move and start exercise, it doesn't come from lack of willpower. It becomes from confusion. Now, I want to know if you agree with this. So pop it in the comments if you feel confused and overwhelmed by the industry. I was chatting with a friend over Christmas and she was saying she's bombarded with stuff on Facebook, and one thing is saying that you need to do this, and then the next one's saying that you need to do that, and this isn't right. And I think it can be really, really confusing. And we need to remember that everybody is trying to sell you their program. They're trying to make a living, and I'm trying to make a living. I'm here, promoting health and wellness. But I think the important thing is to find something that you enjoy, that works for you, that you can do consistently. And that can be bite-sized chunks of movement, of health and wellness, of nutrition, of daily movement, of thinking about your sleep, of thinking about your mental well-being, taking time for you and learning boundaries. And these little things all stack up to make big change. It doesn't need to be like one big extreme area. You need to take a little bit from each area and work on it consistently to feel better, to have more energy, to feel stronger, to have more energy to play with the kids and to sleep better. And it's these little changes in each of those areas that makes a really, really big difference. So I think you need to try and cut out some of the noise and strip it back to what we need and then what we want, maybe some of those bigger goals that we want to work on top of, because unless the foundation is strong and we are working on consistently working on our health and well-being, whether that be removing as much processed food from our diet as we can and looking at more natural whole foods, whether that be your hydration, It might be that you're deciding to move more. You might be a midlife lady and know that you need to start lifting, looking after your heart, increasing your mobility so that we are at less risk of slips, trips and falls. But whatever that looks like for you, because it is different for everybody, and all the clients that I work with have very, very different goals, and they change over time as well. But whatever that looks like for you, just start with making little changes. It might be that you decide that, okay, I'm going to go out for a walk for 20 minutes every day or 5 days a week, whatever that goal looks like for you. Or it might be, I'm going to join a fitness class once a week. I'm going to start with something that's manageable, like fitness Pilates or a yoga class. Then I'm going to look to start to introduce some strength in a few weeks' time when I feel more confident in my own body. But whatever that looks like for you, make a decision what works, what's going to fit in with your life, what you feel confident doing, and make that change. But know that it's going to feel uncomfortable at first, because our brains are designed to keep us in our comfort zone. So whenever we take on a new challenge, it is always going to be challenging for a little while until it becomes a habit, till we get comfortable with it, with the community that we're moving in, the people that we're seeing, and what we're doing. So I think, the really important thing here is to work smarter, to think about the basics. If you're not moving, why sign up for a 30-day shred that's probably going to break you, that you're going to do 3 days and go, it's too hard, and give up? Start with something that is manageable. Start with a 20-minute strength class. It could be online. You could go to your local gym. You could sign up with a local community coach like myself. There's lots of ways of doing this. So find a way that works for you. And look at your full circle of health and wellness. So when we're in midlife, and lots of ladies that I talk to, we definitely are moving away from, and not everybody, some people have goals still where they're looking to get a six-pack, and they're wanting, they've got a specific goal that they're working to. But most people that come to me, that I train, top thing, I want more energy. I have got lots of joint pain. I know that my bone density and my muscle mass are decreasing, and I want to slow this down. I want to reverse this process. And it's much more about how we feel than how we look as we come into midlife. And the way that we attack that isn't with one area, it's looking at all of those areas. Our health comes in this full circle approach of looking at movement, daily movement, and then your exercise, your nutrition. How can we improve that? What am I already doing? What can I work on? Do I need more protein in my diet? Do I need more carbohydrates? Have I stripped it out and I've got no energy because I'm not eating any foods that give me energy and make me feel good? Do I need to eat more protein because I know my muscle mass is decreasing and I'm starting to strength train and I need to support that? And hydration is something that also is overlooked, and it's one that I'm really bad at. Anybody that knows me knows that my sticking point is always my hydration. Do you need to make sure you're drinking the appropriate amount of water a day? 2 litres a day minimum. If you're exercising and you're really active, or you're in a hot climate, you're going to need to increase that accordingly. What's your sleep like? Do you have poor sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? Do you have a good sleep routine? Do you wake up constantly during the night? If you're menopausal, you might suffer with night sweats. What can we do around that? Could it be that we could reduce our caffeine? We know that affects our sleep along with alcohol. Could we reduce it, change the timings of when we're drinking? There's lots of things that we can do around our sleep. Do we snack just before we go to bed? Because then our gut's quite active and it's going to disrupt our sleep a little. And what do we look at our stress levels? I was having, again, a really big chat with a friend yesterday about, we went and did a cold water dip yesterday. And I'm not great in cold water, but I did it. It was 3.5 degrees and I got in with just my rash vest and my bikini and my shoes and gloves on, and it was cold. And we got out afterwards and we were discussing why it makes you feel so great. There's lots of discussions about the benefits of cold water dipping. And again, you'll see lots of people saying there's no benefit of cold water dipping. But either way, I know that when I've done it, I get out and I feel great. I feel revitalised, I feel energised. I was really chatty once we got out of the water yesterday. And we were just chatting around movement, doing things that affects your hormones, that make you feel good. And it really is around just doing something for you, doing something that helps to release these hormones, because I think we live in a society that is really, we've got very high stress levels, and it might be that stress from work, and we're not burning that off. We're not using those hormones efficiently because we're getting stressed, but we're sat, and it might be that we're stressed from work, or the kids have stressed us out, but we're sat at a desk, you know, working, and we're not, those hormones and that stress is building up in the body, and we're not expelling it. That's the only way I can describe it. And I'm saying, whatever you do, whether you go for a run, whether you do a cold water dip, whether you go and lift some heavy weights, to release hormones. Some of those are stress hormones, some of those are feel-good hormones, but we're using them appropriately in the body. We're moving physically, we're using those hormones to create a reaction in our body, and we're moving and we're using them. And I think that really helps with your mental health and your overall well-being. So we were just chatting about this and kind of the benefits of cold water dipping, but also other forms of burning off steam, you know. And I think it's really important when we live quite a stressful life. The Western lifestyle is, you know, we can be really stressed. The pressures of school, the kids, work, you know, managing, being a mum, the house, and all of these things create quite a lot of stress. And however you decide to find that stress management is really, really important as well. So my message to you today is try to cut out the noise of the health and wellness industry. It is a multi-billion pound industry, and you will find something that works for you. It might be a 30-day shred for you, but you might need something kinder. I've just launched my 2-week reset, which is a mixture of gentle movement and yoga to introduce movement into your life in a kind way. It's only 10 to 15 minutes a day, with a top tip health and wellness around those 5 pillars of health that we've been talking about today. And it's a really gentle way to get moving. But whatever that is for you, I hope that you have a great January. And if you've got any questions and you need any support, please ask. That's what I am here for. Have a great day. This has been my 3rd podcast, and I'm really excited to be doing some podcasts with other people over the coming months. So I am really excited to have a physio coming on board, a nutritionalist. So we're going to be talking in depth with those specialists in those areas. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I talk about sustainable things that you can do each day. I'm not a specialist in all of these areas, and I'm really excited to get some of these specialists on board and chat in detail about some of these areas with you guys. So stay tuned, make sure you follow me, and I look forward to these chats that I've got coming up next. Take care. Have a good January.